Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of So Recently. I'm Matt, and I'm here with Miranda.
Hello.
And it's Miranda's turn for a topic this week, and something that she's been doing a lot lately has been crafts. And that's a pretty broad topic, but there's a couple specific things you've been doing, and I'm not crafty, I'll admit. I'm not terribly crafty myself, but have some passing interest in certain areas of it, which you've dabbled in. So what prompted you wanting to talk about it, and what have you been up to recently?
Well, recently I've been really into resin art, and that is mostly because James and I have gone to a multitude of art fairs and, things like that nature. And there's always somebody who has super cool resin art, like cutting boards or tables, and I think they just look really cool. So I was like, okay, how hard would it be to do something on a smaller scale, obviously, because I was always like, man, these are super cool. I want to get into that. And it turns out it's not that difficult to get started. They sell kits where you get basically a epoxy and a hardener, and you have to mix it, and as long as you mix it well, it's okay. But I got the starter kit actually as a Christmas gift from one of Jamie's brother's girlfriends. So she is the reason I'm able to get into it more and more, and I made my first I guess layered project, because the thing about resin is if you're going to layer it, it takes so long because you have to let each layer dry completely.
Yeah, so here, just to kind of pull it back just for listeners, because you showed me what your resin projects have been, at least one of the ones you recently did, but for the layman who has never seen resin crafts or resin art, what is it exactly?
It's like a plastic. It's a hard plastic that you can either put into a silicone mold, and then that will take the shape and harden. Or you can, like I said, people put it over cutting boards or tables, and you can make these really cool scenes or art pieces with it, because you can mix color and glitter, and you could even encase objects in resin. It's super cool. I really enjoy it, and there's a lot of different kinds of resin. I'm not adverse to all of them. I just look at to see, oh, this one won't yellow. Great, let's do that. But there's some that, are better for if you're going to have something outside, the UV light from the sun isn't going to damage it. So there is a difference in that. But yeah, it's just a hard plastic that I mix and pour and then let sit for extended periods of time.
So it's kind of a lot of I would assume the crafting, well, first of all, there's a level of skill or practice that needs to come into just making sure it actually is all mixed properly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's a lot of just diligence, right?
Yeah.
Have you had any just immediate failures when you tried that the first time?
Not immediate failures, but there's been some things that I've tested, trying to color it, being oh, you know what, the color wasn't as pronounced as I'd like it to be, so I'm learning to put in more versus less of the acrylic paint. That's what I use. There's a lot of different things that you could use. The kit I have came with glitter, which does color it. I have examples for you. No one podcast can't see it, but this is just a cube.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's like a cube. I mean, yeah, it is a rectangular cube. It's cool.
Then I made a pyramid.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. So once you add the color, and it's hard to show you on camera, but a lot of the glitter is on the bottom of the pyramid, and you can't really see it here, but it
kind of sits to the bottom.
Yeah,
right.
kind of settled, which tells me I didn't mix it properly.
Okay.
But also when you're mixing the resin, epoxy, and the hardener, you have to be really careful about how you're mixing it. Because you don't want to produce any air bubbles. Otherwise, your projects aren't going to be smooth. They're not going to be glossy. They're going to be filled with these bubbles that you don't want. So it is a lot of stirring, and I've watched videos of people who do bigger ones, and they actually have a drill just spinning for them.
Interesting.
Because it's a lot.
And if you're doing, I imagine, a bigger project, you need to probably mix it more for the amount of liquid anyway, just to make sure it's well distributed, but it's probably not a one-to-one, oh, this is X amount bigger, I need to go the same amount longer. It's probably oh, this is a lot, you need to mix this for an hour. Or
I'm pretty sure it is more time stirring, because I mean I haven't done anything too much bigger, but Yeah, like when I mean, I'm sure people can search like resin tables. There's like these super amazing tables that people have made with like the middle of the table has become like a trench and there's like Star Wars figures doing like a battle. I've seen that. I've seen Lord of the Rings, like, you know, Mount Doom and like like lava coming down. Like I've seen that.
That's super cool.
Super cool. And I don't know if I'll ever make it that far into this resin thing.
Sure.
Because, but it's really, really cool.
When you were saying that at the beginning, you mentioned tables. I like had like a visceral memory of my grandpa's old table, which I'm pretty sure did have a similar like like it wasn't crazy, but I feel like I'm certain there was some resin layer on top of the table because I remember there being like stuff in the table and it being like weirdly like there's little like pennies and just random stuff and like
Yeah.
that must be the same thing. And yeah, I imagine there's like that level where you're just kind of like putting stuff in and then there's like the people who are kind of with any hobby or craft, right? Like there's like that high level like going crazy or like really meticulous or really deliberate work, which sounds cool.
Right?
You mentioned that you're not thinking you'll go that far, but like, are you enjoying it enough that you're like, well, I want to maybe not get that far, but like maybe like do this regularly long enough that it becomes like you get like you make these more, make larger things, or is it right now just like I'm just trying it out?
Absolutely. I think I'd be into doing bigger and bigger projects.
Okay.
The only reason I say I don't know if I'll get into so far to like the table level is I don't really have the space for that.
Yeah, I imagine that's like a do it in your garage. Like,
Yeah, and so something that people like you got to be careful too is like this is like toxic fumes. So I wear a mask, and for bigger quantities, I'll probably want to get like an actual like rebreather.
interesting. Okay, that's fair.
And then also they do say to have good ventilation, but like, so for big projects, a lot of people have like actual shops. And I also would need either to, which is something I would be into, woodworking, or I'd have to know a guy who can prep the tables for me because you don't want to put resin over untreated wood is what I keep learning about. I don't know if it just won't set right or what, but it's better to have the wood treated.
Maybe, or...
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I haven't done a full-on research on it because I haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
But I have practiced a little bit on, like, spare pieces of wood that my stepdad had.
Okay.
And, like, it's not treated or anything, but I've practiced, like, mixing colors with a heat gun.
Okay.
Because I learned that's how you get the wave effect, which looks like a shore coming up on the sand.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I've practiced that. I practiced like with a green and blue kind of mixture to make it look more like an oceany, like deep sea.
Okay, sure.
It's something that I feel like woodworking is like the next step into this eventually, which is also probably something that I'll get into just because I'm also into wood burning. So like,
yeah,
I feel like woodworking is next on the hobby list for me.
Sure. Yeah. So I remember at one point I had, and I still sure at my parents' house it exists, a wood burning kit, and you've been doing a little bit. At one point I ambitiously was like, I'm gonna make a really cool detailed chessboard, and then it was just like I got bored as a kid. Like I got like, I don't know, a decent bit of the process started, like enough that like you could tell I was trying to make a chessboard, but then I stopped.
Yeah.
So
oh,
so
that's cool.
Yeah, so but like I know you've been doing that a little bit too. What have you been doing with wood burning?
Basically just doodling right now. My plan is to get I need to get pencils and like more wood to practice on and do actual stencils and try to do like different. I think it'd be really cool to make people like gifts.
Sure.
Especially like my mom probably would really like it, or my stepdad would really like, some sort of woodland design on some wood and they can hang it somewhere. I would love to do that because you can get wood paints and you can spruce it up a bit. So that's something I think would be fun. It's also just, I mean, I've always found drawing to be relaxing. I'm horrible at it.
Right.
But it's,
I'm
like
terrible,
doodling.
so I won't say that you're horrible. What I've seen of your drawing is better than mine, so.
I'm a terrible drawer. I don't know what you're talking about. But right now, the spare pieces of wood that I've been using to wood burn are just full of doodles.
Okay.
And I've tried like writing with them, so I haven't done as much wood burning as I have with resin.
Okay.
Resin's been my main focus right now.
And more of a fun hobby, do you think, for you at least? Or just more... What's drawing you to it, I guess? like obviously the project is the project, right? So like you can think
Mhm.
like a resin project is cool, but like what's drawing you to want to do it?
I think it's the amount you can do with it because you can do so many different colors. You can, like I said, they have different glitters and they have different types of like coloring, like dyes and paints and powders that you can use that give different effects. There's so many molds, like the tentacles in this deep sea one that I have.
Yeah.
James bought, and I just bought some dice molds, so I'm gonna make some D&D dice,
Oh,
which will
sweet.
be really really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Cool.
there's molds for so many things, and so I'm excited to like just see what I can make. And I think something like this is cool because it's kind of like an endless possibility of like, oh, I'm gonna make another pyramid, but I'm gonna like put a flower in it and then I'm gonna polish it up so it's just like a suspended flower in there.
Okay.
There's molds for so many things. I've seen molds for bookmarks.
Sure.
You can get super creative with that. And then, like I said earlier, I've been playing with a heat gun as well. That kind of shows you can mix the colors and then you can like use the heat gun to get the bubbles out and like you can just see how the colors like shift and move.
Yeah.
I just think that's super cool. It's like it's tickling all of the like color and building and creativity.
Is there something about like the scalability of it too? So like you can do it at like the level of like I'm making this as a mold, or then you can take it and you can be like, well, I can expand it out and make this type of project, and then I could go to this type of project, and like, is it just that it's like you mentioned like there's not like really a immediate hard cap, like where if you like drew. Like if you're doing like drawing or doodles or whatever, like you're still drawing. Is that kind of part of it too?
Yeah.
I guess maybe.
Yeah, kind of. Like it's kind of like I think it's because I can see the scale. Like I can be like, okay, now I've done this. Now I can do something bigger or try a different set, like, you know, a completely different like creative direction with the same mold, which is kind of fun. And then I could step my game up and be like, okay, I'm going to incorporate more wood or more this. I'm going to incorporate, you know, putting little figures in the molds and setting up scenes. Because I've seen these incredible artists make like these underwater scenes or space scenes of like, you know, crashed ships in resin and like someone's like being beamed down or up or whatever.
That's super cool. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna, you know, they have like put in like string lights throughout it so it lights up too, and
Oh, sweet.
that would be
Okay.
so cool.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's just like I feel like I'm stepping into like I'm super new to this still, but there's so many cool videos out there that I'm like, oh man, that's I want to try that next. I want to get into like the woodworking part and like bring in like the lighting and try to make these really cool, you know, pieces, whether it's to hang, whether it's to put on my desk, whether it's to just be like, here, friend,
Here's something. Yeah.
I made this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's so many creative possibilities, and I think that's what's really tickling my brain right now. Like, ooh, I like it.
That's cool. Yeah, well, if you're interested in making any D6 dice, I would absolutely take those. So,
Okay.
just throwing that out there because a lot of games I play need like counters and stuff, and D6 dice are the best way to do it. So,
You got it. I literally just got a new mold of dice.
Sweet.
So today.
cool. Well, like, so you mentioned like the woodworking side of that. That's my dad does a lot of woodworking. So that's like he has, and growing up, he had like a shop in our garage.
Mhm.
And so there's always like a ton of just sawdust and crap all over the place and like little
Yep.
random wood chunks and stuff in his shop. And then all sorts of wood. And then he makes us projects probably like every other year. Like he tries to do it every year. This year he didn't. I think he just didn't have time, but he'll make like, you know, a bench, or he makes like a jewelry box for Molly, or, you know, different art pieces and stuff like that. So you mentioned getting into woodworking. So obviously that takes a lot of space. So what is like the parameters of like, are you thinking I want to start with something small that doesn't require too much, or like mostly hand tools, or like wood carving, or
Well, I'm thinking that most of the actual woodworking will take place at my mother's.
Okay.
Because Mike, my stepdad, has the garage is have like, you know, they just pull a car out and then it's his woodworking place.
Okay.
'Cause he does a lot. He has his own like sawmill, like his own portable mill. Because we had a tree.
Okay.
This is a side tangent. We had like 100-year-old tree that needed to come down.
Yeah.
But the
Ah,
wood
bummer.
is still really good.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And he's like, he's making planks out of that, which has been super cool. So he actually got himself, or mom bought him, like a portable mill so he can mill his own wood. And then he's just a super handy guy. So I know I've done very little woodworking. Like I used to help my grandpa build stuff. Like I built a tree house and like a little toy boat. Like I've done very basic stuff and I know how to use a lot of tools. I just haven't done it in a long time.
Sure, okay.
And I feel like I would start small and do like maybe small cutting boards with like cool designs or, you know, something like that.
Yep.
Before I do like anything big as like a table.
Sure.
Which would be really cool to do. But now my brain's going, oh man, I can incorporate wood burning and resin. Oh, yeah. This is going to be great.
Yeah, it would be something where if you want to get into woodworking, like you could do quite a lot. And obviously there's a lot of room for growth from like, I mean, wood burning I'm sure is too. I haven't seen like really crazy wood burnings, but like the starting point of like creating like your own like table or something as like a beginner woodworker versus like what like a really good craftsman can do is insane. So like,
oh yeah,
there's a lot of growth opportunity. And if that's something you like about, like, it sounds like resin is like, I can kind of keep evolving and jumping up from ability to ability. That seems like something that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably why I like it so much. It's like, ooh, okay. I feel pretty good about what I've made. You know, it took several days because of, you know, I had to dry the different pieces and then their layers. But it's really fun to see it like come together. Like you have this vision in your head and then it's like you have multiple days to see it come together. And it's a little waiting, but I'm going to get into, you know, making multiple things at once. So, you know.
You're waiting on more things at least. Yeah. In that downtime.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I mean, so, because you've been doing this a lot recently, I've never been super crafty. Is that something that you are doing more recently? And is there like reasons why? Or do you feel like I've always been crafty? Like, I feel like you obviously have done like videos and stuff for a while and you do like kind of like filmmaking and that type of stuff. But this is like, at least as far as I know from talking to you, this is a little bit more newer.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I was crafty as a kid.
Okay.
Like, the prime example I always think of is my mom kind of let my brother and I choose what our bedrooms, like our themes were. And I really wanted a jungle theme.
Okay.
So my mom is like, took head on this, but like, she kind of like was like, okay, you have free reign. What do you want to do? And she had good ideas and I helped her craft things, but like I had a lamp, like a floor lamp that we bought bamboo sticks and we wrapped it around the pole and tied it with like twine to make it look, and then hot glued like little bamboo shoots on the shade so it looked like, you know, a bamboo
like
lamp.
Jungly.
And then like painting like the walls, I was using a lot of different sponges and a lot of greens, and like you would pat it on the wall to make it look kind of like grass and like bushes, and it wasn't just one shade of green, it was multiple.
Sure.
There was like, my jungle room turned really cool, and then like, you know, I was in the basement, so I had like the half wall.
Yeah. So
like the below that was the grass, and then above was like a sky blue. And my mom just let me kind of choose how I wanted to do it.
That's cool.
And that was when I was like probably, I want to say like 8 or 9.
Sure, yeah.
But my mom has always been super crafty, so I think that's kind of inspired me as a small child. Like, I think about my birthday parties growing up, and my mom would throw these like super amazing things together. I'm like, how, like they're the invitations my mom would make. I was like, I'm always inspired by them. Like Brian still talks about it. Actually, I had a spy themed birthday party.
Okay.
And the invitations were like top secret files, and like my mom handmade those.
That's super cool.
Like, yeah, it's just, I think it's always been something where my mom would do a lot is if I came to her with like a creative problem, she'd be like, I'm in, let's
figure it out.
Put together a costume. Let's put something together. I got a hot glue gun and paint. Let's go.
Sure.
And,
okay.
Like, I think that growing up around that, I've always was kind of a creative person, you know, whether it was writing. I did a lot of creative writing when I was a kid too. And story writing, and you know, I played with my dad's video camera, so I did a lot of like that creative stuff.
Sure.
As far as like crafting and more like art stuff, I wasn't super good at it. Like I painted a little bit and I drew a lot, and in school I did like ceramics. I
Yeah.
did that for like every year in high school,
Sure. Yep.
even when I didn't need it anymore. I like working with my hands.
Sounds like you've done a lot of crafty, well, maybe not crafty stuff. You've done a lot of artistic or creative things, but like crafting and
Yeah.
more arts and crafts. When you think of crafts, like I would think like pottery or ceramics, like is a craft, but it's also like I don't know. Crafts are almost like one of those things when we had like the collecting, like what is collecting?
Yeah.
It's like art. Like a craft is like art, but like you don't call it art necessarily, even though it is. I don't know. Does that make sense? Maybe that's a way to.
No, I know that. That's probably why I'm struggling to figure out like how to say.
So I would say like
was I crafty?
you probably
I think
weren't.
so.
Yeah, like you're probably doing a lot of the stuff, but like not necessarily like making little crafts and things. Whereas like now it's like you're doing like more craft type things. But that's cool that you're kind of finding that now as something that's like a good creative outlet.
Yeah, it's cool, and I think James also enjoys it too. Like he was curious about, I think he also finds resin really entertaining and interesting. So, like he's the one that bought me the tentacle molds and like wants me to make him dice, and
Yeah.
he's curious to see what I'll make.
Sure. Okay.
And he'll come over and be like, he'll text me and be like, I checked it out. I looked at it. I didn't touch it though. I'm like, yeah, don't touch it. It's dry.
Yeah. Quit.
Like, but he's
Careful,
pretty excited
yeah.
about it too, which makes it even better because he seems to be super into it and wants. I think he just wants me to find another hobby that will produce really cool like art pieces and
Sure. That's kind of fun too, because I feel like just with like the time you have to do things, like you're working a job, like we both work, so like you're not always like having a ton of time to do like crazy big things, but like crafts are like you can do something and it's like a ongoing project and you make something at the end of the week or month or whatever you're doing. Eventually it could be bigger than that for sure, but like it's something you can do in your time that's not necessarily like sapping all of your energy.
Oh yeah.
And it's like probably like very like not therapeutic, but like relaxing and something kind of to get your mind off of work or get your mind off of random stuff you're worried about or whatever.
Oh, 100%. And like because of the smaller projects too, like, there's not a lot of time that I spend doing the projects
Yeah.
right now because I mix a little paper cup of, the resin, pour it in the mold or color it, whatever, pour it in the mold, and then I walk away before I can do anything else.
So it's a lot more, I would say, like almost like planning than like actually the doing versus like wood burning is like a bit of both and like woodworking would be a lot of both too.
Yeah.
So, and then at various different levels, it's more and more of everything, right? So,
Right. And especially as I get more and more comfortable with like the molds and making things, I'm going to try to be more ambitious and make like, encased scenes, with little figures or something. I'm going to put, objects in the molds with the resin and see if I can make it, look cool.
that's cool.
That's kind of a goal I have. It's a smaller scale, get to something super small to just stick in the middle of a little like pyramid or something.
Yeah, that's kind of fun though. I wish I was a little more crafty. I don't know if I feel like some people like talk about how they're like very driven to be creative. Like you mentioned this, like you're like I want to do something creative. I don't want, and like I don't know if I'm just like I just don't like I don't have a ton of that, I guess, which is weird.
I think that's normal.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't necessarily like ever feel like it's like if I can't do a craft, I don't feel like I'm getting enjoyment out of my other stuff or like not or like if I have no creative outlet, I'm not enjoying the rest of my day to day because I feel like a lot of what I like is like creative problem solving, I guess, not necessarily like having a project, right? Or like having like something I'm working on that's more artistic. But one other craft we've talked about before that you're doing, and it's not really craft, but like kind of is alongside interests that I've talked about and interests that you've done or you've participated in already is miniature painting because I like board games.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily love painting, and I'm not like creative enough to come up with like cool scenes to paint on my own. But I have a hunch that miniature painting could be kind of fun, just in the sense that it's like a very deliberate, focused project that potentially is applicable and potentially enhances other hobbies that I like to do if I get good enough at it. So you've done it semi recently. Do you like it?
Once.
Once.
I've
Okay.
done it
So just
once so far. Literally yesterday.
So yesterday. Okay. So so it's very recent. Okay, I didn't know that. So but
It's like so recently.
so for something like that, like it's less crafty. I know you can get it to that point.
Oh no, I would argue that it's very crafty. It's
Maybe you're not like hodgepodging things together. I think crafting, I always like envision like you're like putting stuff onto other stuff and like kind of slapping stuff together into a thing. Whereas this is a thing that you're painting, but I guess it's still crafty or a little artsy. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, would you call painting a craft?
No.
No?
I'd say it's art, but like it's the same thing. See what I'm saying? Like I feel like
yeah.
craft. There's like a tangibility to a craft to me. Like there's like a
Okay.
like a painting you can look at and you can hold the piece of paper that the painting's on. But a craft would be a physical thing
Okay.
that is painted. I don't know.
Okay, so this is where it gets really gray waters. Have you ever heard of this? I'm sorry, we'll go back to the miniature painting. But have you ever heard of diamond painting?
No.
Apparently it's super relaxing, but it's literally like you have a little pen and you have like these like diamond little things and you like it's like color by number. Is that a craft?
Diamond things like sticky things that you're putting on?
Yeah, I guess. I haven't done one yet, but I've talked to several coworkers that are super into it because I guess it's like it's just super zen. You just put on a podcast and you use the diamond painter and you just like put little diamond studs over the pattern.
Yeah, that's a craft. That's a craft.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a craft. Yeah. There's like another example I thought of that's similar is I've seen like targeted advertising online for like sticker crafts where they like sell you a thing that's like a scene and then they give you stickers to decorate your scene. So like for example, there's one that was like decorate a library and then they have a bunch of stickers of like bookshelves and people reading and ladders and books and coffee and all this stuff and then you like take little tweezers and you like apply the stickers to make it look like a little scene.
Oh.
Like that's a craft to me.
Okay.
It's not even like I feel like there is like the level of like it's a kit and then there's like the level of like this is a big project that you're working on, right? So like I feel like crafts are so broad. Whereas art is also broad, even broader. Crafts are like exist within it.
Okay.
It's very
I
weird.
think I understand what you're saying. Okay. Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. I don't. This is just me rambling too. But yeah.
Nah, it's fine. Okay, back to the miniature paintings. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
I haven't painted in years, so it was kind of fun. And I picked a slightly bigger model.
Yeah, that's probably what I would imagine a lot of people would recommend. I would assume.
I would assume because James was painting this tiny thing with like super detailed things and, having to use like the smallest of brushes that I've ever seen. And just like literally and he even said it's a lot of the times when you get to the details, it's more poking than like brushing.
Right.
And you're just like trying to get as much detail as possible. But I would call this crafting over just art just because I've seen like Jamie's got a couple of friends who are just the most artistic, creative people I've ever met. And it's like the fact that they liked my little resin thing made me feel so good.
Nice, yeah.
But their mini paintings are like they have like miniature painting like nights where they get together and do that. And that's kind of like what they do like
to chill.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
And their stuff is so good. It looks like professionally done. Like it doesn't even look like it's been painted. It looks like it was like bought from the store.
That's cool.
It's stupid. It's so cool. I'm not gonna get that good at it. I can tell you right now. I'm not patient enough for the tiny.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it. It does get like we painted for maybe I want to say 45 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more. And I was like, I need to finish my guy. But I have like a lot of the smaller details left that I need to do. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done for the day. Like
I'm tapped. Yeah.
I'm tapped. But I did enjoy it because, it's super chill. You just, get your colors ready and put on some music or a podcast, and you could just like, it's your mini. You can paint it however you want. You can try different techniques, try whatever you want. It's really fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I know a lot of times people think of like mini painting. If you're painting miniatures for like games, they're typically like your Warhammer or like your D&D miniatures if you play in person, which is like dying art apparently because everyone plays virtually. But
Yep.
like if you know, have some painted minis, I feel like a lot of times it's more that. But I do have some board games that have minis, and the amount of times I look at them and go, this would be really cool, but also like a nightmare to paint all these. So it's appealing, but also one of those things where the goal is to have painted minis of games that I can play.
Okay.
So it's like almost more like objective based, right? Like it's not necessarily, at least right now, how I view it isn't like I want to do that to get really good at it. It's like I want to do it to be good enough to paint these, and then I don't know what I would do after that. But I'm sure if I got good enough to paint them, then I would want to paint more.
Well, I'm wondering if like you got that good, that means you probably enjoy practicing on other midis and things.
Yeah.
So it probably would become like another hobby. Like, oh, hey, I got a new board game with minis. I'm gonna paint those, and
yeah. I would like to paint some at some point, but I want to get practice in because if I ever decide to paint the games that I'm thinking of, they both have like, I don't know, upwards of, I would assume 150 to 200 pieces each. So like appeal of doing that is incredibly low, but the draw of having them all painted is pretty high. Like that would be sick.
That'd be pretty cool, and you can paint them however you want.
Well, I am limited a little bit because they are Star Wars and Lord of the Rings themed.
All right, yeah, all right, that's fair.
And then like it's like the rebel soldiers are gonna wear like the blue shirts with the black vests, like they have to.
Right.
But again,
Yes.
then we're getting into complication because those are even smaller minis than the one you showed me James painted, and they are, yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're way smaller.
But look at that detail, though.
They're like half size. So yeah, that is nuts.
Wow.
So they're probably smaller than half of that size, to be honest. So yeah, at some point maybe that would be something fun to try. But yeah, I mean it's cool that you're trying all these different crafts. Do you think like, is that so like you do a lot of filmmaking, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but does that feel like that's fulfilling an interest more than the filmmaking is right now, or is it like this is tangential?
This is like completely different.
Okay.
It's so weird. I feel like I have so many interests that are actually like I'm super into things all at once.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I still really love making videos, and like it's still something I think about a lot, like, coming with scripts and ideas, and James is also into that as well.
Yeah.
But like the resin thing is more like, I don't know. I guess that would be to me more crafty than like filming.
Sure. Okay.
Like, although I would also guess filming would be a craft as well.
I think
know.
we're losing
It
ourselves in
just
the
feels
distinction.
different.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a different kind of craft.
Okay. Yeah, but you're liking it in a same level at least right now. Like you're enjoying it. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm excited to get more tools to, hone in my craft and get better at it, and send you more pictures of what I make.
Nice. That'd be awesome.
And
yeah.
So
So for kind of like anybody who wants to get started, resin is kind of what we mostly talked about today. So I'll say if you want to get started with resin, like what would you say? Like you got a kit. Did you watch any like YouTube videos or anything, or did you like kind of like investigate it before you got started, or?
So to get started, I kind of made the decision. I was like, oh man, I think resin would be really cool. Like I just really like the art style and I want to try it. I would recommend getting a kit, and there's so many kinds of kits out there, but like get like a starter kit with like the 1-to-1 ratio of the hardener and the resin itself. The kit I had came with some like, popsicle sticks, molds, little measuring cups, rubber gloves, and just practice. Like it is just like, it came with directions and everything, so I just kind of read the directions in the form that said, okay, measure it out 1-to-1, mix for this long, try not to, lift the stirring stick up too much or you'll create air bubbles. You don't want that. I did that, and then for the bigger stuff, like the layering, then that's when I started watching YouTube videos more and be like, okay,
how do I actually
what do you
make
do?
it work? Yeah.
Yeah, and I watched a video like how do people make those really cool like shorelines on cutting boards?
Cool.
I now know how to do that, and I'm like, I'm so excited to try that sometime. So I would recommend getting a starting kit and just, your first one. The first one I did was just a clear little disc that I made out of a mold, and I just put like a one little flower in the middle. And it looked so bad because I was too afraid to like put enough resin in the mold.
Okay.
I was like, oh no, what if I make too much and it overflows?
It would have been fine.
It would have been fine. The thing was so thin, it was awful.
Okay.
So
sure, yeah.
don't overdo it, but like I definitely misjudged like how thick the molds are. And then just, you gotta like let it sit, let it wait. And it's a long waiting game at first because it feels like, oh, I want to see how it turns out. Mm-hmm. Be patient.
Yeah. Buy
a starter kit and have fun.
Cool. Well, yeah. Well, thanks for sharing a little bit about it. And yeah, I'm kind of curious to see, like, you show me. I mean, you talked about that project. You've shown me the most recent project you did, which is
the shipwreck.
Yeah, shipwrecked. It's like a very there's tentacles and they clearly killed the ship and people are probably hurt and injured, but there's gold pouring out of the ship. So
there's gold.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So like obviously even then from there, I'm sure it's gonna get even crazier and crazier. So that's fun. Glad you're enjoying it though. That's cool. Like I feel like I'm interested in like crafty hobbies in the sense of like minis, but I'm curious to see like this is a craft you could take and like go to craft fairs and stuff if you got really into it. So be kind of cool to see where you go with it. So sweet. Well,
yeah, I'm very curious about where this is heading, but I will definitely keep you updated.
Yeah, if this goes like kind of nuts and you quit your job and become a resin maker, like we'll have to do a follow-up.
Can you imagine I become a resin artist before I become like any kind of like video maker?
I guess at this point, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Potentially. It seems like you're really liking it, so
it's so fun.
That'd be cool. But hey, yeah, I mean, whatever works, right? If that's it, it sounds like it hits a different, like it hits the same sort of drive to make things, which is fun. So
yeah, and I just really like making things, I guess.
Yeah,
like, I have so many other like interests of like other craft type things that I would definitely do someday, but that could be another episode.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing a little bit, and we'll do another episode soon with my next topic, and we'll figure out something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so snowy and dreary. It's probably going to be another indoor activity, but we'll come up with something. So thank you all so much for listening. I'm Matt.
I'm Miranda.
And thanks for listening to another episode of So Recently, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.